Alright. Mic on. Let's find out. It is good. And of course I want to cough. Good grief, like every time. Alright, so we're finally entering content that I'm so much less familiar with. I think I've done the first 2 episodes of this, and that's about it. I have done this Air Memorial. This is a bit dialogue heavy, but we're gonna get through it. I'm not necessarily gonna skip dialogue. I am, however, just gonna do objectives as soon as they show up.
You made it.
Of course, Newt. She was a dear friend.
Let's head up. My people will be glad you're here. Some may have questions about what happened.
I hope it's not why. I'm still struggling with that one myself.
Aren't we all? Perhaps that's the
Why?
answer. Brown
Fowlin.
left to
That's the why.
He's
And
not
we,
here.
No.
took care
We
of
arranged
it.
this and then took to the mountains. The fire inside that boy. I almost feel sorry for any of Jormag's minions he comes across.
Sounds like he's working through it in true Bram fashion. Good.
Make yourself at home. Your Tribune friend certainly has. Now I'll leave you to it, Commander. Speak with whomever you wish, and celebrate. Or pay your respects privately. The spirit of air can be found in either.
So, just a quick recap. I've dipped my toes in Season 4 because this is where you get the, Sky Scale. But then I realized you have to do, like, the whole thing. You basically have to beat, or get very close to, oh, sorry, hiccups, beating Path of Fire for the Roller Beetle. I've done a few episodes of Path of Fire, so, like, probably the first half of it will be pretty familiar to me. I've done a lot in End of Dragons, but not so much the actual quest itself. Once again, I've gotten like 5 or 6 episodes in, and then my focus kept shifting, which is why I've been doing this for my YouTube channel to kind of help keep me focused. And then I'll gain context and stuff. As I discussed with my brother in the last episode, I've never actually seen Aurene hatch. Most of the story I've seen is her as a full adult. And I know there's some quests where she shows up as like an adolescent. I've not seen any of that. I just know that it exists.
She had him dead to rights, and we all knew it.
So we're
What
finally
was he
getting
going
into
to do?
content
Beg?
that I've barely
Plead?
touched.
Wasn't his style. And Air wouldn't buy it anyway. So, he just jumped off the ledge. Well, she wouldn't give him the satisfaction of escape, even to his death. She shot him before he hit the
Oh, this
ground.
outfit's cool.
Damn, that Nord knew how to exact revenge.
That's
So
just
true.
like
She's like
her.
full vampy.
Thank you for that story, Tribune Brimstone.
Red eyes and
Not sure
all.
why no one's ever made a tapestry of that moment. Oh, hey, good to see you, Commander.
You too. Spreading a little air cheer?
Things are getting too serious. Just ensuring they remember the right Air.
Hey, you're that Retlock Trombone, the Revenant, right?
Trombone.
Close enough. Now why don't you do Uncle Trombone a favor and buzz off?
But I want to hear about the Blood Legion.
Don't you think quietly weeping in the corner by yourself would be more fun than this?
Nah, this is fine.
Yeah.
Have you heard from Zoja or Logan? I was crossing my fingers they'd be well enough to make this.
Still both laid up on my last visit.
Too bad. Mordremoth's death came with a great toll, for sure.
You know, with those two out of the field and Snaffenair gone and Kaith, well, there really is no Destiny's Edge anymore.
I'm sorry, Ritlock. I know how important it was to you.
But there's no sense in looking back. Maybe it's time to start again.
Another guild? Would Air want us to do that?
She wouldn't want us to get caught up in her death like she did with Snaff's. Regret gets you nowhere. And Tyria would probably sleep more soundly with the Dragon Slayer at the helm of a new guild.
We could do a lot of good. It didn't go perfectly, but the small group we had was pretty capable against Mordremoth. What would we call it?
Fate's Razor!
I will not be part of a guild called Fate's Razor.
What about Dragon's Watch?
Dragon's Watch. I like that.
Can I be in it?
No.
But I've got my Uncle Beamish's magical sword!
Not yet, kid.
That kid's almost as tall as I
Come
am.
see this. What's going on?
Welcome home, brother.
Thank the spirit. Oh,
Great
thank the
spirits.
Look, everyone.
Oh, he's
Look who it
stanky.
is.
Filthy. Oh, he's limping, poor guy.
It's a sign.
Rox! You and Garm!
Commander, what are you
Rest
doing
in
here?
peace, Air.
What did I walk into?
May the mountains hear her name
A
until
memorial
the
for
end
Air.
of time.
You couldn't have brought a better gift.
Yeah. Nice work, soldier.
We're both tired and hungry. Wasn't expecting all this. Garm's hurt too. We should get him healing as soon as possible.
Her legend lives on.
What can I do to help?
I'll send for a healer. In the meantime, there's plenty of food around.
Great spirits.
I'll do it. Rox, you rest. Hungry, Garm?
Oh, food's over here. I like how he sliced it and all. And gave it the fixins for a wolf.
There you go, boy. You're home now.
Where did the rocks go? Oh.
I still can't believe it. How did you find Garm?
Tracked him from the crash site. Wasn't easy. The jungle's still crawling with Mordred. Some of them have come unhinged without their master's voice. Poor Garm followed Air's scent into the middle of it all. He was lucky to be alive. Air's monument. We both are.
Bram's gonna be so happy when he gets back.
He's not here?
No, he's in the mountains blowing off some steam.
Well, I'll stay with Garm and make sure he's okay. When he's ready, we can try to catch up with Bram.
I'm sure the cold air will do Garm some good after all that jungle heat.
Yeah, if I never see another pocket raptor as long as I live, I'll die happy.
Come on. Let's get to what we're here for.
And so far in my experience with Path of Fire and End of Dragons, I don't hate traversing those two lands nearly as much, so...
Who let that wolf in here? It smells awful.
That's Air's pet, Garm.
Oh my. He must have heard me. Sorry, Garm.
Alright, we're gonna chip away at this ice. They have something to say, because the Norn have all kinds of meanings to the animals.
You honor her. This spirit recalls the importance of the past, and you were part of hers.
So we're just gonna run around and do that.
The qualities of Snow Leopard. Her stealth was renowned.
Bear strong, wolf pack, raven clever, etc., etc.
I too.
Bear gives us our ferocity, and Air was loved by Bear. We were honored, reminded of our gifts from all the
Borderline in stone.
Your craftsmanship does Air honor. She was a great sculptor. drawing her
Everyone,
inspiration
lend us
and
your
skill
ears.
from Raven.
The one who killed Zaitan with Air's Tagokin would like to say a few words.
We've all lost people we loved. And the pain of that can be overwhelming. But we can't let that pain stop us from moving forward without them. Without her. Instead, we honor, celebrate her life. The gift that she was. Air is a part of me. A part of all of us. How do we thank the gods for that? By living the rest of our own lives larger, better, bolder. We love, we laugh, we defend our world, and we fight for what's right. We do what she would have done. Homesteaders, hunters, heroes all. To air!
To
Rest in
air.
The legend lives on. Hear her name and
To
may we
a
all
bright
Nicely
warrior
done.
and
To
friend.
air.
join her and the great
Goodbye,
spirits.
Air.
Commander, this just arrived for you.
Ratasum! Or Novus. Rata Novus!
Looks like I'm off to Radanovus. Ritlock, care to follow?
Sure, but I need to take care of something on the way. Or rather, tell someone I won't be taking care of something. Never mind. I'll meet you there.
Sure. Rox, Ritlock talked me into founding a new guild. It'd be great to have you. And pass the invitation on to Bram when you see him. Actually, don't. I'll do it in person. I don't want him to think we're merely replacing Destiny's Edge after his mother's death.
I get it. And I think he will too, when the time's right.
I have like a low tier spoiler that I know about.
Shiny.
Apparently, Bram becomes kind of a bitch, like during his mourning phase. Like, mostly to you. Like, he just kind of becomes a little bit of an asshole. Like, he snaps out of it, but it's still gonna be kind of, like, frustrating to be like, bro, I didn't kill your mom. Foul ended, and we took care of it. Or rather, I guess Mordermoth running around in the body of your mom did it. Oh, is this the thing with the bloodstone? I think it is.
One second, please.
Security breach detected.
Gollum, what are you doing?
Responding with full force.
No, this is not happening. Stop! Halt! Cease! Desist!
Unidentified
Oh, you poor baby. It'll take me months to repair you now.
Anyway.
Timey, sorry about that.
Don't worry about it. All this crunchy old tech's been overstimulated by the influx of magic. Glad you're here.
Yeah, I got your letter.
Funny, I also sent one to this guy, but he barely made it.
Your note failed to mention how to navigate this Asuran playground.
He got lost trying to find the lab. I had to follow the non-stop stream of char expletives to track him down.
City of the future, my tail.
It's good to see you. I was so happy when I saw your mission was a success. But then I heard about Marshal Traherne.
He saved us all. His sacrifice won't soon be forgotten.
But there's good news too. Ritlock says we're starting a new guild. So exciting!
Glad you're on board.
Of course you are! Someone has to be the brains. Haha, kidding. In all seriousness though, I suspect some of the things I'm working on in this place will come in very handy.
How have you been doing here?
Great, it's fantastic. Well, it was before every Asura and their grand mentor showed up.
At least you have a lot of hands to pitch in at the Dragon Lab.
What do you mean, Commander? I've never heard of this room you describe. Keep it down about the Dragon Lab. I don't want anyone finding out about it. Especially...
Hello, progeny.
Counselor Flunt, how lovely to see you. I'm so pleased you didn't end up on a Chalk's breakfast menu this morning.
You can stow the dim insults. They'll never be clever enough to wound me. Now, have there been any new developments today?
Why, none that I can think of.
Allow me to warn you about keeping secrets from me, progeny. My wrath is as fierce as my intellect.
Oh, that sounds terrifying. I wouldn't dream of hiding something from you, Counselor. I'm totally hiding something from him. Let's head there now, but not the way you know. We're going through the gate. I've configured it to appear as if we're going to the command center, but we're really going to you-know-where. Except there's a catch. You have to outsmart the security measures.
You're joking, right?
Not this time. Give it a shot and I'll observe.
It's a memory
See if you
puzzle.
Can crack the code. I'll give you a hint. Do exactly as you're told.
There's 2 achievements. There's one to do the code, and then there's another one called I Don't Have Time for That, where we skip the puzzle and fight 3 goals. We're just gonna do that.
Oops. Easy there, fellas.
Shut up.
I could outrun a centaur.
So I switched from
That's our
one.
cue. You didn't crack the code, so I did it for you while you were busy. We shouldn't dilly-dally any longer. Let's go.
So Deadly Arts is specifically based around like daggers and conditions, but it had a couple traits that gave you like raw power. Excuse me. I switched to from that to Trickery, which gives me more boost on my steel ability, and as you can see down here, I got a lot more initiative. And stealing gives me initiatives too, as well. So, in theory, my I can spam certain things a lot more now. So that's cool. So whatever DPS loss is
Sorry to
kind
put
of
you through that.
negligible.
I need to keep
Because I can
people who
attack
may
more.
Or may not be named Flunk out of here.
Now that the subterfuge is out of the way, can we get to what you called us here for?
Yes, this is a replica of the leyline energy map we found outside of Tarir. I've been tracking the movement of magic since
I keep thinking it's
Morgoth's
called
death.
Tahir.
It's been in total
Yeah.
chaotic flux. Here, there, everywhere. See, that dot is the egg chamber. It lit up like a Lunar New Year firework after the dragon went bye-bye. But as you can see here, the egg's doing great.
What are we looking at? A feed of the egg chamber.
Yeah, the Exalted and the Rada Novans shared a ton of information. They must have helped them design their security system.
And then you broke into it.
No, I utilized it to check on the egg.
So you broke into it.
Hey, we're all friends, right? I don't think they'd mind. Maybe just don't mention it around any floaty gold people.
Do you have access to surveillance all over Tarir?
Back to the leyline map. So this other point is... that's new. The northern bloodstone dot is flaring up. I'll have to keep an eye on that.
The spot where Mordremoth died looks like it's cooling down a little.
Yeah, a lot of that energy's been put back into the system. I'm trying to model its patterns, but this map isn't built for detailed readings. Yet. In the meantime, look at this.
What is it?
Not to toot my own warbler or anything, but I killed a chalk or two in my time alone here. Since the others don't know about this place, I couldn't ask to have defenses installed. So they pop up every once in a while when the lab's drawing a lot of power.
Like those?
Exactly. Get it.
Sound makes my teeth ache. Timmy, you gotta stop eating cookies in your lab.
I think they smell the organ I harvested. Might be one of their kin.
You know, in case you get too bored, they throw some bugs at you. Good move, really. There it is. The big one.
Time to do some real damage.
Where you exterminate? Don't worry about their goo. I'll clean that up later.
Oops.
Anyway, this thing is some sort of organ I found in one of the larger ones. It's part of their digestive system, and as you know, they feed on ley energy, so it got me curious.
Any valuable findings yet?
None I can explain right now. I ran some ley energy through it, and it came out different on the other side.
Different?
I'm not really sure how just yet. It was barely measurable with the equipment I have. I need to develop some other device to actually observe the phenomenon.
What's that sludge you're keeping it in?
Blighting pod fluid. Remember that stuff? It has wonderful preservative and even restorative properties.
Fluid. From the blighting pods. The things that made horrible Mordrum abominations out of corpses.
So you do remember it?
Taimi, do you think maybe that might be a bad idea?
You worry too much. In research, there's no reward without risk. And if I'm gonna stay one step ahead of everyone outside this lab, I have to take a lot of risks. But one thing I can't risk is staying away from the main lab too long. It arouses suspicion. Let's go.
I got your back. You first.
Stand down. It's just Taimi's friends again.
General Soulkeeper, this is quite a surprise. What brings you to Rhodonovus?
I actually forgot I wanted to do that before doing this,
A new
so
position within the Pact. The marshal rank is...
I might have a vaguely out of
vacant,
order episode.
and we want you to fill it.
This is an honor.
I'm glad you view it in that light. The Pact is hanging on by a thread.
I see.
I can tell you're having your doubts, so let me just be upfront about the
And I'll do it later.
Certain Pact
Because I just
outfits feel
remembered
like Marshal Traherne's
what happens
mistake
after
was
this.
going out into the field and getting himself killed. The new Marshal would be planted safely in an office in Lion's Arch, still leading the troops, but out of harm's way.
As flattered as I am by your offer, I'm going to have to respectfully decline, General. After the Mordremoth battle, I believe I, Rytlock, and the others would be more effective operating as our own guild.
I understand the decision on your early retirement, although I'm disappointed. I still believe in the Pact's goal.
I do too, and I'll always be ready to lend a hand. It'll just be outside the system.
Out from under a mountain of paperwork, you mean?
Laugh it up, No Eyes. I have something for you, too. A letter from the Black Citadel. You must have really brushed some higher-ups the wrong way.
Are you sure you want to just crumple that up and throw it away?
Why not? It's what I did with the last two.
What did I hear? You're not in the Pact anymore? Wait, what do I call you? Poobah?
No. How about we just stick with Commander for now?
Technically, it's a title for life, so you're welcome to it.
The problem with doing Dragon Stand
Didn't sound good.
out of
Quick,
order
let's go see what's happening.
instead of going on it right now is it's going to have to be a silent episode because it's already 7:30 in the evening, which means future spliced episodes it'll probably be another like mid-voiced and then silent one. But I will try to talk about what's happening in Dragon Stand in text because the first time I ever did it, I barely could comprehend what was happening because there's a lot of visual noise. Anyway, those alarms are just because Canuck showed up.
What happened?
I came in through the caves because I couldn't find the gate. I wasn't expecting such an enthusiastic welcome.
Did you see that? Flunt was so mad, even his fleas jumped ship. Canuck, you're my hero.
Why the surprise visit?
I'm here answering the call.
But Mordremoth's dead. We killed...
Oh, it's not the Jungle Dragon's call. This time it's Anissa's.
Still holds your billet, huh?
She does. But certain messy events have transpired, and I'm assured that if I clean them up, my billet will be released, and I'll once again be free from any yoke.
How can I help?
Minister Caudicus recently left the Queen's protective custody. Anise sent me and a squad of Shining Blade to help the good minister find his way back to Divinity's Reach.
Any idea on his whereabouts?
There's been a flare-up of White Mantle activity in northern Maguma, and intel points to him possibly heading there.
That's the crazy magical hotspot we saw up by the Bloodstone.
I thought the minister claimed to not be in bed with those Mersat lovers.
Didn't we all?
Ritlock, get word to the others. Marjorie might be getting a little restless in Divinity's Reach and want in on the action.
Commander, if you like, you can hitch a ride on my airship. It's on our way. We can drop you off.
Now that's an offer I can't turn down, General.
Perfect. I'll grab my Shining Blade detachment and meet you there.
Cool.
Let's get underway.
Commander's destination ahead. Looks like we're in for quite a ride.
We're not flying into that scramble, are we?
My gods, grow a backbone. Scared of a little weather?
Sorry about that. I thought my paint program was on a different screen. That's me doing my thumbnails. By the time you see that little mishap, you'll already have seen my Scarlet thumbnail for that finale. So that's not really a spoiler or anything.
On your feet. We survived. Somehow.
Actually, I can leave from here. Cool.
Oh, shiny.
So I'm gonna go get distracted, see if I can do a Dragon Stand for a pre-recording, probably before this episode. So, yep.
I think... It's hard for me to actually say, but I think a bloodstone just exploded.
A bloodstone? Then how are we still alive?
Good question, but others might not have been so lucky. I'm going down to scout for survivors, see if I can piece together what happened and why the blast reversed itself.
Watch your back and let me know what you find out. We'll try to get this bird running again.
Canuck was supposed to meet me here. Hope he and his troops were out of range. The blast must have released the spirits of the victims sacrificed on the Bloodstone. Years of imprisonment twisted their minds. They don't know friend from foe. The White Mantle will pay for this. large chunk of the Bloodstone still intact. And these foul things. This Bloodstone must have been larger than anyone imagined. What could have caused it to explode?
Fairly deadly blast.
White man. Ah, members of the Pact.
Bloodstones! Slit your throat! Commander, are you still alive?
Gods have mercy. They've been consumed by Bloodstone magic. May Grenth guide them to the next world in peace.
I've never seen an explosion collapse on itself like that. Magic was inches from my face, and then it suddenly shot into the ground. You think a dragon was responsible?
I'm not sure yet. That's what I'm here to investigate. I want to get into that crater and find out why the blast reversed, and where the magic went.
Easier said than done. The area is swarming with White Mantle. We sent a patrol, but only one soldier made it back, and she's, not well.
What's wrong with her?
She was hit with magic unlike any we've seen. On the outside, she's fine, but it twisted her inside something fierce. She can barely move. She's been raving about floating purple stone monsters ever since she got back.
Stone creatures. That rings a White Mantle bell. Can you reach the Priory and see what they know about them?
Sure thing, Commander.
Have you seen Kana?
Who?
He's a Sylvari. Tough, but well-spoken. Medium build. A bit cranky.
Can't say that I have. But I did see Kaith run through here like a centaur on fire. She wouldn't stop for anything. Just hauled tail through the war zone and was gone like that.
Thank you. I'll let the General know you're down here.
Is it as bad as it looks down there?
It's not good. White Mantle hit in the blast are mad with hunger for magical energy. They gather any scrap they can find.
The White Mantle? Could they have done this? And to what end?
I don't know. Maybe it was an experiment gone wrong. Maybe it was supposed to empower all of them and it went awry.
Whoever it was, we owe them our gratitude. That blast would have hit Lion's Arch, and they just rebuilt the place.
I'd hold off on the thanks until we know what their motive is. There's a pack squad down there. They've already established a camp and are trying to get a foothold in the area.
That's what I like to hear.
Well, it's not all good news. Some other pack members were also caught in the blast.
Just what the pack didn't need. More dead soldiers.
They're not dead, but they've been twisted by Bloodstone magic, just like the White Mantle.
They don't deserve that. They deserve peace.
I understand. I'd want the same if the roles were reversed.
Thank you, Commander.
Continue investigation.
Sweet, sweet loot.
Come in. Can you read me, Commander?
Loud and clear, Timey.
Finally. There's been tons of magical interference. Been difficult to get a clean line to you. Okay, I've been going over some data coming in from the blast area, and one thing stands out. The people who were within the blast radius who, survived, they need to consume the magic to live, but the magic's also driving them more and more insane.
That must be why I've seen them snatching up bloodstone shards.
Then they have to have a way to harvest the magic inside. I wonder how.
I'll track down where they're taking the shards for harvest and see what they're using. Commander, over.
Did you mean Commander out? It's okay. Communicator protocol takes a little getting used to. Timey out.
I feel good.
Joey, get away from those!
You're kidding, right?
But what about...
What have you done?
use a hand over here. Come in, Tiny. I've liberated the artifact.
Only thing to do now is try it out. You should be able to harvest bloodstone nodes and fragments scattered by the blast.
Mine. All mine. Bennett, any update on the creature that hospitalized your scout?
We finally got a message from Priory headquarters. Hard to get a pigeon to fly through a magical storm in one piece. The description of these stone men matched an ancient weapon the Mersat and White Mantle used before the Crichton Civil War. They're called Jade Constructs. They were the Mersat's primary martial units.
Floating constructs. That sounds similar to the Exalted.
That's because they're using ancient magic from a similar origin. Or at least that's my current theory, Poobah.
Did your backpack just call you Poobah, Commander?
It's a long story. Go on, Timey.
There was a time, way back, when the Seers and the Mersat shared a lot of info. Why do you think they're all so floaty?
So is there anything that'll keep me alive in a fight against these jade things?
Remember that magical protection I told you about? That should work against Jade Constructs, too. It was based on Seer research that Zinn, the founder of Rada Novus, performed during the Crichton Civil War. I highly suggest mastering it before you get in a smashy scenario with one of those Jade brutes. Good luck, time me out!
It looks like there are magical scorch marks leading this way. Feel the fury! Who's there?
It's me, Commander.
Kaith! Bennett said he saw you.
Are you...
Trying to figure out why the explosion reversed itself and the trail led me here. Look at these marks. Could these have been made by a torrent of magic?
Possibly. You think something or someone was behind this? Or was it a natural disaster?
Seems like an awfully odd natural disaster. You saw what happened, right?
I've recently learned to not always rely on my senses. They can betray you.
This pedestal seems to be the nexus of it all. Let's look around and...
Tremor! Incoming! Did you see that?
That bloodstone explosion seemed to trigger some sort of magical echo.
I couldn't really tell what was happening.
Let's find some more bloodstone and see if we can recreate it. Get a clearer picture. This could give us an insight on why the blast reversed itself. Just a bunch of weapons.
You sure about that? Because they're glowing.
Fury! That was unexpected.
I'll hold my I told you so.
How did you end up down here?
I was returning from the Grove when I saw the explosion on the horizon. I wasn't going to leave it uninvestigated.
Good work getting this deep into the crater. Must have been moving like a shadow out there.
That's what I do.
Kate, over here! Some bloodstone pieces next to this staircase. Guess this is how someone would get down here to do whatever it is our test hopefully reveals.
I guess I really wanted it to be a natural disaster. Didn't want to think about someone tinkering with so much power.
What was your business in the Grove?
I was visiting the Pale Tree.
How is she after Mortemoth's death?
Ailing, but recovering. Although not well enough to give me the guidance I needed.
Sorry to hear that.
It's... back to the task at hand. Those explosions exposed some more bloodstones.
It's a note. Must have survived in this chest.
What's it say?
It was the White Mantle, all right. Apparently they've been prodding the Bloodstone for some time now. But it also hints at some sort of splintering within their group, and a divisive leader. Must be Codicus.
The Legate Minister? Oh, I should stop by Divinity's Reach more often. I'm out of the loop.
Bloodstone under this table. I could outrun a centaur. Some more bloodstone here. Can't believe this operation was happening under our noses this whole time. Why the six? What is that? Nice one. Feel the fury. Ambush! Back up! Back up!
Commander, before we go any further, I want to clear the air between us.
Here? Why would I expect any different? Your timing has always been perfect.
See, that's why I have to speak now. I know you're still upset with me, and you have every right to be. I can't take back what happened, but I can tell you I know what I did was wrong, and I'm sorry. My wild hunt, Mordremoth's voice, they were tearing at each other, and sometimes I didn't know which was which. I was very confused, and I felt like the only person I could trust was me.
That's the very time you should have leaned on your friends.
Don't you see? I didn't know who my friends were. Enemies, friends, even Fowlin. It was all grey. I wish I would have trusted you, but I didn't. And now that's in the past. All I can do is hope you'll forgive me in the future.
Kaith.
You don't have to respond now. I want you to think about it, so your decision is considered.
Okay, well, let's see if our little experiment works. What was that? What happened?
Where you were standing, there was only a brilliant light, devouring magic. Then some people behind the light didn't look so lucky. These silhouettes.
They must have been vaporized by the blast.
Who would have done this purposefully?
Someone who just absorbed the lion's share of a bloodstone's worth of magic. Could have been Codicus. I have to find Canuck and warn him, if he's still alive.
Commander! Are you up there?
Sounds like someone's looking for you.
Commander, Canuck ordered us to find you. Minister Codicus is in the area.
He's alive. I need to tell him about what we just witnessed. Point me in the right direction. Kaith?
You know what? I think I'll stay a moment. Maybe poke around some more.
Are you sure? Will you be okay?
It's fine, Commander. Remember? I'm a shadow.
And that's that.